MKBHD once said that cheap phones are getting good and good phones are getting cheap. At this point we know that the latter definitely isn't true anymore. But can this phone prove that the former still is? Hey, I'm Brian and this is the Moto G7. PureVPN not only encrypts your traffic so you can browse more privately and securely, it also bypasses geo-blocking so you can enjoy Netflix US or your country's sports coverage anywhere in the world. And the best thing is that you can try it risk-free for 31 days and get full access starting at only a couple of bucks a month. So check out PureVPN at the link in the video description. I like the design language Motorola has started with the X4. The curved glass on the back is almost identical to the mirror-black finish on a OnePlus phone. It looks great as long as you don't get fingerprints all over it, which you can prevent by using the included case. The fast fingerprint sensor that was previously found on the front is now finally found in the Motorola logo on the back. I remember they already wanted to do this years ago, but now they finally have. Face unlock is also present. The phone has a water-repellent coating, but it's not actually water-resistant to any more than a little rain. We now also have a metal and not a plastic frame that houses the buttons, which are a bit loose and rattle at times. That could definitely be improved. I appreciate though that the G7 can house 2 SIM cards and a microSD card at the same time. On the bottom you still find a headphone jack, the single speaker that is pretty underwhelming, unfortunate because Moto phones used to have good front-facing speakers, call quality is fine though, and fortunately a USB-C port. That's not guaranteed in a budget phone, and what's even nicer to see is that the port also supports fast charging with a bundled turbo power adapter that charges the 3000 mAh battery in about an hour. You of course don't find wireless charging at this price. Battery life is another strong point with the G7. 6 to 7 hours of screen on time are definitely above average for a mix of messaging, video watching and browsing. And it does this without resorting to a subpar screen. The 6.2-inch LCD on the front features Full HD Plus resolution, making it plenty sharp, and also comes with stellar viewing angles and colors that even hold up next to an OLED. Even if the black levels aren't amazing and the display could be a bit brighter, I'd say it looks a lot better next to the iPhone XR screen in multiple aspects. And remember, that's a phone that costs 3 times as much. The screen-to-body ratio on the G7 was improved, and the front now looks a lot more modern thanks to the large radius curved corners and the water drop notch. Though that one cuts a bit deep into the screen, and I still think the word Motorola on the chin isn't necessary. Inside the phone is a Snapdragon 632 octa-core paired with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It's great to see the storage not being crippled. And performance isn't either. There's the occasional second you have to wait and it's not as blazing as a 6T, but it's not sluggish or anything, and that's everything that counts at this price. That's also thanks to Motorola really being the only ones that make budget phones without overloaded software. The phone runs Android 9 Pie with very few, or should I say only sensible, customizations. There's Moto's ambient display, the twist gesture for the camera or the chopping for the flashlight. If you put the phone face down, it automatically puts itself on silent, which is awesome. And it even has digital well-being like the Pixel. The gesture navigation system is a bit better than on stock, since it at least gives you a bit more space, but I think the black bar should just be eliminated entirely. I overall really like the software on the G7. I think it's the main reason why these phones continue to sell well. There's just nothing to say against smart features and good performance without bloat. But I have to say that Motorola has been a bit lacking in the update department lately. Let's finish up with the camera. On the back there are 2 lenses, a 12-megapixel main camera with an f1.8 aperture and no OIS, and a secondary 5-megapixel depth camera. Both are housed in the signature circular bump. Pictures are serviceable, I'd say. Dynamic range and color depth could be improved. I also think that the camera's performance is a bit lacking, especially processing takes a long time, even if the pictures look better after. Especially in low light, you notice a difference to more expensive phones though. That said, for the price I'm happy with what the G7 offers. I haven't had a picture that looked downright unusable, and that's nothing I can say about every phone at this price. Selfies in portrait mode are a bit over-sharpened, other than that they look quite good though. You can even adjust the blur amount after the fact. The phone also has Top Shot just like the Pixel 3. Videos can either be recorded in 720p at 120fps for slow motion, or in 4K at 30fps. It's great that that's not missing, but especially here OIS would be appreciated. Let's come to a conclusion. I'm truly impressed at the lack of shortcomings in the G7. And even its bigger Plus brother only has a better camera, faster charging and a slightly faster CPU, the size is the same. It used to be only 1 or 2 years ago that you would need to make some serious trade-offs when going with a phone for 250 euros. Be it bad performance or build quality, a camera you don't want to use, a subpar screen, a micro USB port, or not enough storage. But the G7 has none of those. The screen can hold up even next to OnePlus, the design is modern, and build quality is premium, save for the buttons. Software and performance are good, if not unbelievable, and the same can be said about the camera, even if to a slightly lesser extent. A budget phone doesn't have to wow you in every category. That can be saved for the flagships, but it at least shouldn't disappoint in any area. If you don't need the extras, then the G7 is a very solid option. It's even not too bad when compared to the Pocophone, which is 100 euros more. Thanks to Motorola for giving me the G7 for review, and in case you want to buy one, you can of course do that through a link in the video description. That would help me out tremendously. You know which buttons to press, and don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.